Hello Knights fans, back with this week's episode of the FDU Men's Basketball Report here with Coach Greg Herenda. Coach, let's just talk about the Rutgers game there. It's a good first half from your team. I know they had a big run to pull away in the second half. What can you take away from that contest?
Yeah, it was really disappointing because the way we played the first 15 minutes, I was convinced that we were going to be able to play that for 40. But I think, Brian, what happened was they were really good, and our youth and our inexperience showed its head a little bit. So, when we went to our bet, I think we were up 21-18 and 21-20 was our final lead, and we were running offense, defending. We were on the glass, but at the end of the first half, they kind of separated, and then the second half, we just didn't play well. Xavier Malone got in foul trouble, and then we had to go deeper into our youth. And a Big Ten team in a Big Ten building, if you're not tight for 40 minutes, that's what happens. So, it might have been a pretty lopsided score, but there were a lot of really close, even battles within that game, but not for 40 minutes. So we have to put together 40 minutes of basketball. But I was happy to see. I'm a New Jersey resident. I pay taxes to the state, and Rutgers is our state university. So I was happy to see Rutgers come back and do virtually the same thing to a CAA team. So, Rutgers is good, and we're good, but we have to get better for longer periods of time, and I'm confident that we'll do that. We've just had 3 really hard, good practices, and we're excited about starting our home schedule here. But with those games, again, I say them all the time. We've opened up against Villanova, Arizona, Seton Hall, and Rutgers. So that happens a lot at this level, and it's only going to make us better down the road. But it stings. It stings our fans. It stings our basketball team, but also it stings the head coach. And we went really, really hard for a little bit longer these past few days. We have to sustain things, and with a younger team, especially a younger bench, we need to just keep on, dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Yeah, so you touched on Xavier Malone getting in foul trouble. He had still put up a good line, 10 points and 6 rebounds, picked up that foul late in the first half,
Yes.
had to come out, and then obviously it limited his minutes in the second half. I know you've seen him a lot here in practice, obviously last year as a transfer coming in, but to see his athleticism on a big stage, facing a Big Ten opponent like that, how pleased were you with what you saw in his minutes?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised, but I was pleased. Xavier's got a great first step. He makes shots, so he'll take some tough ones, and we have to live and die with them, but he makes them. But he goes to the basket as well as any high major player. So he's very athletic. Defensively, he's long. He's going to get deflections. So that was his first game, really, in any meaningful minutes in his college career. At Rider, he didn't have many meaningful minutes. So very excited about, Xavier. And Darnell was good, but he wasn't great. Our bigs still haven't found a rhythm. Jaleel in that game is a little bit diminutive. It's a big game. Had happened last year against Penn State and Seton Hall, but he's gotten stronger. He'll bounce back. But like we talked about the last episode, I don't want any more of it. But humble pie is perfect early because their attention for this past weekend and up until our game tomorrow against Queens has been at a really high level, which is good for a basketball coach and good for a team that's trying to get better.
And one last thing before we look ahead to this week's game, so back with Rutgers, You mentioned their length and their size. That was something that maybe gave Darnell and Jaleel trouble. I know they had to make a lot of difficult shots and take a lot of contested shots, but your guys did come up with steals and turnovers, and you held your own on the glass. It did seem like they were going to crash the offensive glass and take advantage, but your guys, they fought hard, and they held their own there on the rebounds.
Brian, we had 12 shots blocked and 22 turnovers. That's 34 possessions where the ball never got up to the rim, and in a 40-minute game, that's way too many. So we need to run better offense. Give credit to Rutgers for the defense that they played, but we're working on our offense. It's a work in progress, but I'm convinced that our offense is going to predicate our defense, and the two will come together. It just happened to come together for only about 15 minutes on Friday night, and hopefully, tomorrow night's going to come together for 40 minutes, and every day we progress. So we're very excited, but obviously disappointed in that outcome, but we move onward and upward.
Speaking of moving on, now you'll welcome Queens College and NYIT into the building, a pair of East Coast Conference opponents, Division II teams. How nice is this for your chance to get some of your younger guys some action on the court, get your BJ Saliba and a Brandon Powell and maybe Mark Datica some minutes here and a chance to get their feet wet in their home gym?
That's the last thing I'm thinking about. We need to win a basketball game with our best players on the floor. And then if it ever gets to the point where we can play more, guys are going to play. Everyone played the other night on our basketball team. But what we need to do is win a game. And I play Division II. This is the alma mater of Glenn Breaker. I'm not sure did you know that, Brian?
I did not know that.
Queens College graduate. These kids are coming in here just like Post came in, and they're going to try to beat us, just like we tried to beat Rutgers. So this is our, Rutgers FDU game, but this time we're the FDU Division I team, and they have to come in here. But I want to play more guys, and we're going to have to play more players. And I just love the fact that BJ came in, made a three. Brandon made a three. That I'll never forget my first 2 points. We played Villanova when I was a young freshman at Merrimack College, and Rory Sparrow from Patterson, right up the road, was guarding me. I didn't know what to do with the ball, and Brian, I just shot it from the top of the key and swished it, and it really changed my career because all of a sudden I felt like, hey, I can do this. And I think when young players come in and just do one good thing, it takes the pressure off, and it lets you just play. And those guys are, good players. Oscar is getting so much better every day. He's going to play. Nadi had terrific minutes off the bench. I think Pat McNamara now is healthy, and Pat's going to play. So we were a little bit banged up going into that game, but I think you'll see our bench. But I want to. I'm not playing to get everybody minutes. We're playing to win, and eventually the guys that deserve the minutes will get theirs.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fun trend that I noticed last year. Jaleel, Elijah, they came in and made their first shots last year. Brandon and BJ continued the trend this season, so could be a good luck charm there. Any last thoughts on these opponents? Do you know, have you got to scout too much tape, or have you looked at them ahead?
No, it's great because the front row now is in Division II. Like the NEC front row, all these Division II games are on the computer. And I know how to turn the computer on, and I know how to find the Queens game, and they played pace. And no, they're really well coached. They run a lot of good sets. They're athletic. They're going to try to pressure us a little bit, but for the most part, they're a man-to-man team. So Queens is going to be a formidable opponent. And NYIT went out and played UCLA in an exhibition game, and one of their players had 26, 27 points. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but he's a really good player. We're not looking ahead to that game. But we're allowed to play 2 non-Division I games, and everyone in America has that opportunity, and most people take advantage of it. This is going to be a good chance for us to come in front of our home crowd, play really well, really hard, and get one win at a time. And then I don't know what happens after that, and I don't care. But right now it's Queens on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, and I think I told my team, I said, listen, you get popped at Rutgers, the buzz isn't as great as it would be, so they have to learn. You win, people come out. But nonetheless, I think this team, you'll see, is a very exciting team, and when people do come out, you see the background, you see the practice, you know what's going on. Eventually, will come to fruition, and I just hope, on Wednesday night we have a good crowd, and then on Friday night as well. So it's good basketball here, and it's right in our home, in our backyard.
Yeah, definitely back-to-back home games here. Coach Herenda 5-0 in home openers in his tenure at FDU. Another fun fact for you. Okay. So he'll look to make that 6 straight when he welcomes Queens College. It's a 7 p.m. start on Wednesday night. NYIT will be here also at 7 p.m. That'll be Friday night's game. So definitely come out to the Rothman Center. You get 2 chances to see the Knights in action at home. And again, as always, check back to FDUKnights.com.